welcome back to my film and TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And we've got an interesting film to look at today. It's a sport I'm not really been that interested in when it first started off and all its various degrees, and now it's quite popular, but not for me. When I look at a film called The Smashing Machine, a 15 certificate, just over 2 hours, which was fine. Yeah, for a little bit of a biographical sports drama. I expect a little bit longer perhaps than the norm. Written, directed, produced and edited, and probably made the coffee as well, by Benny Safdie. Robbie Collin of the Telegraph paper said of this, "The Smashing Machine is a crunchily satisfying fight movie that innovates subtly." It's very too subtle for some people, I think, but others thought it had its limitations and the subtlety was perhaps too much. Kyle Smith of Wall Street Journal said, "The Smashing Machine is notably reluctant to go deep," and that seems to be the problem with most people. I can fully understand that critique. Please, guys, if you are new to the channel, we'll talk about this film. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you've not already done so. Great to have you on board. Any hype points on YouTube you can give me, it would be wonderful. Smash that hype button if you can find it. Some people still can't, but sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't on mine. I don't understand how it works, but it helps the channel, guys, if you can give us any hype points. Helps the algorithms. Like watching this vlog will help the algorithms as well, and watching ads or various things. But we'll talk about a couple of ways of helping the channel, other ways of helping the channel later on after we've done this review. Let's get on with the review. This film stars Dwayne Johnson as former amateur wrestler and MMA fighter Mark Kerr, alongside Emily Blunt, lovely, as Kerr's girlfriend. And we've also got Ryan Bader, Bas Rutten and Alexander Usyk in this. He's real, isn't he, I think? Yeah. I'll say I don't know too much about this sport. This is released in the US on October the 3rd, 2025. Check your territories. I'm doing this review on the 17th of October, 2025. So any scores and comments are true as at that date. As I said, I'm not a fan of the sport or its differing machinations, but despite some flaws, I found this to be good, if not exactly a warts and all film to watch. It definitely doesn't go too deep. I couldn't quite get over Dwayne Johnson's hair, actually. I just couldn't get. I couldn't even think it was him until he sort of shaved it towards the end of the film. Of course, well, it's not really hair; it's more dark astroturf. I found it quite scary to look at, but he does play a great role, no doubt. And I found. But I was getting a bit scared. At least we had the delightful Emily Blunt to look at as well and to take in, so that eased the scariness a little bit. I mean, I'm watching this towards Halloween, so yes, that hairdo sort of did that to me. There's so much not covered in this film. That's a problem. It's a moment in time. It's only a brief period in time, of course, in this guy's story. So we don't get to know a lot of his backstory. We get obvious. We know where he's come from, but. He seems a genuinely nice guy, and that's the thing. Now, I have no idea in real life if he is or not. I have no qualms on that at all, but he's made out to be a really nice guy. He has his moments, of course, he does, like any of us would, and he's struggling, of course, to be relevant in what at the time I assume was quite a new sport, of course, all done through Japan, and obviously you got him sort of trying to get extra money and things like this, so it's all in its infancy. And of course, he also has to cope with a seemingly a loving relationship when it begins, but obviously the cracks soon appear in a sort of chaotic relationship with his girlfriend. And it never really goes too dark on the characters. Of course, you've got Kerr, who obviously was suffering some painkiller addiction, of course, for his woes. Of course, you get him to try and have some strong stuff in Japan, and they're refusing to give it him. But it never quite goes all in on that. We see some of the anger involved and some of the pain. Dwayne Johnson sort of gets that over, but I think the fact that it doesn't go deep is for some people the film's biggest flaw, and it also always remains respectful and sort of nice and fuzzy, but there are darker undertones he never quite explores fully. It's got that docudrama feel. At times it appears unscripted, which works, which helps in this rough, gritty style and reflects perhaps the sport of the time as well, a new sport just trying to get established. It never quite goes all in, the film, and perhaps there's room for a deeper story, of course there is. Perhaps we'll get that again one day, but not in this. You're not going to get it in this film. Graham Gutman from Screen Rant scored it 40. He said, its best moments aren't in the octagon, they're in the quiet moments when Johnson's Kerr is talking to an interviewer backstage, or when Dawn and Mark are exchanging barbs in between affections in their cosy Arizona home. Yeah, I think this is where the docudrama is probably at its best, as I said, but Graham is seeing that as a negative. I'm not particularly seeing that as a negative. I enjoyed those elements of the film. Of course, we never really get underneath the skin of Blunt's character either, which is a shame. There's obviously an underlying sort of wives and girlfriend, housewives of Cheshire sort of feel, despite tenderness, of course, to this. You know, that she comes over that she could be a bit of a money grabber. She's only there for that, but then there's other elements that isn't, and we never really find that out because we never really get delved much into that character, Emily Blunt's character in this either. So there's a lot to be found out there that we don't really find out. We just see what's happening in little elements of it. I thought it was always watchable. We cared about all the characters. I think in this, I think the chemistry is excellent between him and his girlfriend, and also between the couple, and also the excellent Ryan Bader, who's the mate, of course, of Kerr. So the chemistry works on screen. It's nice, fuzzy. It's a nice chemistry. Helping each other, etc., etc. There's nothing wrong with that. Even amidst the anger in the relationships, there's still a lot of tenderness there as well. One thing I did like, of course, not being a fan of the sport particularly, I had no idea of the outcome of the contest on screen, so it was a pleasant surprise to see how things panned out as far as the fights were concerned. And as far as the fight scenes, they were kept, there was plenty of them, but they didn't overstay the welcome. I thought it was quite well done as well, because I could have got a little bit bored if they went on for too long. Now, whether the fights do go on for long, I don't know. I'll say I'm not a fan of this sort of sport, but I thought the balance was probably correct, was fine. Another one who didn't particularly like it was Kevin Mayer of The Times. He only scored it 40. He said, it's all too obvious that the Smashing Machine has been conceived, amongst other things, as another Safdie branded career boost for a pair of charming, charismatic actors who could do with a dash of Oscar magic. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a shame that their film is a fugazi, and that means a bogus pretense, a sham. And that's, I think he's being harsh, Kevin. I think he's probably true, he's probably right, but obviously Kevin wanted this to be all more warts and all, didn't he? But I think to call it that fugazi is a bit cruel on the film itself. But let's finish on a positive. Let's have a look at John Nugent from Empire Film Magazine. He scored 80 out of 100. He liked it. He said, as a newly solo director, Safdie summons a thoughtful and moving mood for this unconventional sports film. As a newly serious dramatic actor, Johnson is about to win some awards. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. Although obviously Kevin thought there was, but hey, that's how it is. Perhaps John's too over the top on it, but I'm more with John, to be honest with you, than Kevin on that one. Many, I think, to sum up, will possibly, unlike John, will not like the lack of depth to the story. Well, that's not its aim. I don't think it's for this. It is what it is. It works on the smaller microcosm, if you like. I look at a man, his relationship with the sport, with drugs, with his girlfriend, all those around him. And if he is a good guy in real life, why not? We don't want to go too deep into it, do we? We don't want to pull his life apart. So if he is a genuinely nice guy, which this film says he is, why not? I do watch a film for entertainment. I can watch docudramas and watch something grittier, but as entertainment, this was fine. It was a bit cosy, a bit fuzzy, but it's sort of like a Rocky, wasn't it? It's just like an updated MMA Rocky, if you like. So on that score, it worked for me. I was entertained. I enjoyed it. Others, a little bit mixed. Rotten Tomatoes, 198 fresh, so that's good, but 83 rotten, so quite a big chunk of rotten. Their consensus said Dwayne Johnson goes a distance with his transformative turn as Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine, a gritty biopic that sidesteps cliche even at the expense of narrative satisfaction while still landing the dramatic body blows that count. So kind consensus there from Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic, 65 out of 100 based on 55 critics, 35 were positive. There was 19 mixed though, so 19 mixed on this. I'll make that 36 mixed. Of course, I was fresh on this. Sorry guys, on Rotten Tomatoes, I was fresh on this one. 35 positive, 19 mixed, just 1 negative on Metacritic. I'll go make that 36. I've got to be positive. Rotten Tomato users, 3.9 out of 5. That's a good score. Metacritic users not as kind, only 4.7 out of 10. So they didn't like it. Perhaps they wanted a bit more grit to it. Internet Movie Database, 33,000 scores and reviews as I'm doing this. And it's getting a 6.7, so I can imagine this staying around the 6.5, 6.7 score now for the rest of its time. On Internet Movie Database, it's certainly that sort of film that won't upset more people than people like it. Personally, I'm going to give it a very watchable score. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Don't expect too hard, deep look at this sport or the characters in this. If you want something, as I say, a little bit of a fuzzy, nicely updated Rocky, then this doesn't go far wrong. I mean, even as I say, but I think the docudrama feel to it, and the actor's superb. I mean, I could watch Blunt all day anyway, and obviously I could watch all the actors in this. They do a great job of. Perhaps not Oscar worthy, but certainly adequate. That's for sure. So I'll give it a 6.5. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed the way I do things. Have a look at other people's critique as well and comment on those. And that's how I do it. Some people said, well, Burn, you're giving other people's views. Well, that's just how I do it. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it, do you? But I enjoy having a look at other people's critique and commenting on that as well. So hope you enjoyed the review, guys. Please, if you want to contact me, you can through YouTube or any of my socials. If you want to find out how to do that, or you want to help support the channel, there are other ways of supporting the channel as well. If you like the content, all you have to do is keep watching and listening. Hi again, hope you enjoyed the feature, guys. Thanks for watching. Please, if you did enjoy the content, please give us a thumbs up, and if you've not already done so, press that subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, that'd be wonderful. It's free to subscribe, absolutely free. Also, check out my social media links if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. They'll all be in the description below. And my special thanks to supporters of the channel, yes, Piat6505, who have an eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia, including posters, books, magazines. There'll be a link again in the comments section. And if you're into your football, don't forget my football stuff on Manchester City for general football fans, but mainly City fans, of course. Or if you know someone who might enjoy that, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. And as ever, guys, comments on this feature is wonderful. Anything to do with film and TV is always very, very welcome. It's great to talk film and TV. I thank you guys for your support. Stay safe, everyone.